Hello, it's Berg here. It's been a while since I've checked in. So much is happening. It's 2019, and kind of don't know where to start except maybe to share how I am the way I am today and how I got to be this way as a spiritual being, because we're all spiritual beings and we've all had different experiences. I find it interesting when people share about theirs, because then we actually see us in those shares. I see ourselves when people share. So for me, my spiritual journey started off at a young age, and I would say that I would thank my dad for a part of that journey, or most of that awakening for me. He would take me to psychic fairs. As a kid, so I was just kind of open more to palm readings and just the understanding of psychic stuff. At the age of 12, he gave me this book, Psychic Energy by Joseph J. Weed. At 12 years old, I started reading it. I was born in 1973. Funnily enough, the same year that David Wilcock was born. I really relate a lot to David's energy and everything he's been sharing, and I kind of feel like we're on the same. We came in the same time, and he so much feels like a brother to me, and in his information and stuff he shares. I have something on Facebook, a page called Positive Conscious News Source that I've been running since 2012. So my first awakening. Get back to my first awakening, things that happened to me. So at the age of 12, I'm reading this book. I mean, at 12 years old, I was highlighting stuff in the chapters. Some of the chapters are, you can look up this book, I'm sure, How Psychic Energy Manifests, Techniques in Increasing Control of Psychic Energy. I really got to like how to find past lives. So I really in-depthly looked and read this book, and it made a huge difference, so much so that at that age I was doing some visualizations, techniques, colors, visualizing colors from this book, breathing techniques that I learned from this book. And as a result, I had an out-of-body experience. My first out-of-body experience, I was awake. I was just lying on my bed in this state of meditation, and next thing I remember, I came out of my body. I looked down at myself from the ceiling on the bed. I thought, cool. And then I went back into my body. So I really got from then on that things were just different. Like, it's not about what you saw. It's about, there's more to it than that. There's a bigger world out there. So my quest as a kid started at a young age. Also, another experience I had with my dad. When I first saw him, he's a healer, and I saw him healing for the first time. The second I saw him healing, I immediately knew that I was a healer. It was just a given. So from then on, I started to use my hands naturally and my energy naturally, and I found that I have a knack for headaches. I also helped my brother. He hurt his arm at that time, and I tried it, and he said his arm felt better. But really, I've got more response from headaches. When people say they have a headache, I can really bang it out in a couple of minutes for people. So I recognized myself as a healer from my dad, and then we went to Hollywood. My dad's from California, my mom's from London. I grew up in London. I have a mixed accent, so I've been here for half my life, half and half. I'm in New York. Been here for 25 years or so, and so I when I was a kid, I used to go to California with my to see my dad's side of the family all the time, and we decided to get a Ouija board at 13 years old, I think it was then. My dad didn't know better, obviously. He's still learning. So we got a Ouija board. We're outside. We're holding it very gently on the cup, whatever it is, the magnifying glass pointer. And we asked, is there anyone there? Is there anyone there? It moved we were not doing it. I could see how lightly we were touching it. It went to a girl. She said her name was Dee. She was 4 years old. She was killed in a carriage crash in 1857. Okay, then she got off. Then we said, is anyone else there? Got a yes. Went to the guy's name, spelled out Ed. He said he was 57. I asked him, do you have anything to tell us? He said, yes. He said, he spelled out, get off now. So we got off immediately. It was kind of freaky. We took the message seriously. We put the Ouija board down. That night, when we went to bed, I was sleeping in the living room at my grandma's house in the Hollywood Hills. I was in the middle of the couch, and at both ends was a table here, and there was a table on this end, and I was in the middle. And all of a sudden, I was still awake, I banged my feet at the end of the table. And the only way for that to have happened is if I was picked up and moved there, because the next minute, I banged my head at the other end of the table. So in that moment, I was picked up, moved one way, and then moved this way, and then put down. So I got up, I went to tell my dad what happened. It was nighttime, and I guess he should have been sleeping. His light was on, and he was looking at his feet sitting on the bed. And I said, I've got something to tell you. He said, I've got something to tell you. I said, what? He said, well, I'm sitting on the bed, but the carpet has completely wrapped itself around the bottom of the bed. And the only way for that to have happened is if it was picked up with him on it, and it happened. Because it wasn't like that when he got on the bed. So we both confirmed we had some interesting experiences. And we didn't use the Ouija board again, and we got rid of it. We asked my cousin, who's a psychic, and she said, don't use it. So we didn't. We learned from that experience. You cannot control the spirits, the beings that come through, the pranksters, the tricksters. So using a Ouija board is a bit chaotic, let's just say. So I guess that's back with the chaos magic. So it's up to you. You've got to be careful, because you can really let beings come in. So you have to know how to protect yourself. I learned about that much kind of later, but I think there's protection information probably in here that, I probably didn't think about as a kid. So my dad grew up in LA, and he shared with me that he was in the Hollywood Hills, and he had a UFO encounter and saw UFO lights, kind of like Close Encounters, flying right over his head. So he's had, and he knew, and he also was there for the LA flyover in the 50s. So that's already been looked into. The military showed up shooting into the sky at what they thought it was. So he showed me that. He took me to crystal place, crystal shows, psychic shows. So really, and then after that, I went off. It was my 20s. I went off into the world, and then later on I started to reflect, and I also had an amazing. Let's see. Okay, I had a UFO experience myself in Woodstock, New York, and it was unlike any other experience because I called it to happen. It wasn't a one-off sighting. I didn't say, oh, look, did you see that? What happened was, it was 2012. I was with my ex-girlfriend. She is a channel and a medium and a psychic. We were together for 7.5 years. I can tell you a little bit more about that. So we're in Woodstock. We came outside. I was getting excited for 2012, December 21st. We're about a week away. I said, when are they coming? When are the ETs getting here? Let's go out and call them. That's it. So we went outside in our little courtyard in the garden in Woodstock. I took a tiny little flashlight. We went to the center of the grass. We looked up into the sky, and I said, if you're up there, give us a sign. I flashed my light, and in that very second, a huge light over our head, a huge beam, went boom on us both, and it happened for maybe about five seconds, maybe a little bit longer, about 5. It was nuts, because I asked for it to happen, and it happened. So we got the sign. I have been told that it was my ship that is watching over me, I would like to confirm that. I'm not 100% sure. I've heard other things too, so I'm still wondering who exactly it was. But it happened, and it happened as I asked for it. So be careful what you ask for, and be ready for it. I believe that things like that can happen to you when they see that your energy is ready for an experience like that, and your energy can be read. My grandpa shared, who had passed, had shared from the other side that he's watching me, and he saw my energy was way different from anyone else, and he was learning about me even after he passed from this reality. I was teaching him. So going back to so to confirm my UFO story, that next day my neighbor came over and she said, "You'll never guess what I saw." I don't know how to explain this. She said, "Well, I was in my garden and I was watching, looking in your garden, backyard garden, and I saw a giant orb over your house. And I wondered how you guys got it to be there, stay there." And as she was looking at it, it started to move and it flew around our house. And she said she saw it shot off into the woods. So that was the same day that we had our sighting, confirming two things happening that day. So that was interesting. I have seen other UFOs randomly in Brooklyn and recorded one once or twice. And let's see. So I was with my ex, and we met in a spiritual church at a spiritualist seance, and she knew she had abilities since she was a kid, and she could see all kinds of people and talk to people. And when we met, I had studied a lot and understood the deeper understanding of channeling and connecting and who we're connecting to. So at that time, helped share who the beings are in the universe: the Pleiadians, the Sirians, the Arcturians, the Ungarthans, the Hathors, the Atlantis, all the just Lemurria, putting pieces together, the Anunnaki, the reptilian stuff, like just helping her to see what's going on, the angels, the elementals, and as someone coming into her own, had all this stuff all of her life, really helping her to like hone in on what was going on. So as we came together, we ended up, I was the first person she channeled for, and really confirmed amazing things that I had known, and she of course had not known except from getting it directly from source, from Akashic records, from Pleiadians, from her through Alcone portal. Like she found that she was Pleiadian. I've had ties with Sirius and the Blue Avian group, which are starting to be heard of more and more about, which are bird people, humanoid bird people. Corey Good and David Wilcock are talking about them. I believe Corey Good has met with the Blue Avians too. So I found out I have the energy too, and which means that I incarnate through all these different realities, but maybe I'm closer to the Blue Avians this time, and I've come in as human, and now I'm waking up and starting to remember and understand the bigger picture. I'm still learning. I'm still every day calling on my higher self and the universe to work with me so I can open up to the Akashic records and to this Akashic knowledge, every day calling for more information and learning so much more and becoming more clear. But as I become more clear, it can be kind of difficult, I found, for people around me, close people around me who don't quite still understand the journey and the path of my individual journey. And so it has been challenging and rewarding. It's like almost starting over, because after 7.5 years, my ex and I channeled for over 250 people, and I would sit in every single session and write down everything, and we learned so much. We got so much confirmation about the universe and about the people in front of us, about ourselves, putting the pieces together. We all need each other so much to put these pieces together. We are one. We are collective conscious. We forget that. We're all stuck in this matrix still, but the matrix is falling apart finally. Behind the scenes, so much amazing things are happening. So many channels, so many different people coming forward to share. Things are coming together, but things must fall apart first in order for the new things to come out. And so for people still unaware and still kind of like seeing this same world, it doesn't always look too great, but really there's some amazing things happening. Indictments, people being arrested at the top, behind the scenes, elite, deep state, Illuminati. Yes, we're not sure about the leaders of our world, but I feel really good about what's happening, even though it doesn't look so hot. My sources say we are in for a treat, and just be ready for this huge change. We're in a shift. You can feel it. I'm getting reports. I'm like the only person I know gets random phone calls from people from all over the world with things that are happening to them that are weird and unusual and strange that they cannot talk about with anyone else. So I am I've put myself out there for many years, and I love helping people, so it's my thing. That's why I'm here. So I encourage people to ask me questions or follow other channels to find your truth, their truth, your truth. Truth. You're gonna get led down the wrong path. That's okay. That's your learning. That's part of it. It's all good. So here I am. It's 2019. I feel like I need to speak my voice, and I haven't shared as much lately. I shared when I was more hippie-ish with long hair in Woodstock, and I've now been growing in so many ways. I've moved back to the city in New York. I have a family now. Things are different, but I also thinking about how we're raising our kids, in this new reality, like the Star Children, like this magic is real, but we're still coming out of it, so we don't get that. Not everyone's kind of fully coming into this magic world yet, but I'm so ready for it as it is transforming now. And I think about, I was just showing my kid the animals, elephant and the noises they make, and I'm excited to show our kids our new our star family, show them Pleiadians, show them the Arcturians, what they look like, how they sound. I want to like put like a little video together, a booklet, so I'm gonna think about that for kids, because I don't think there's too much out there to show the kids not just animals and insects, but our star family, our ET race. So I think that's what I want to say for now. I will reach out again. You can go to Positive Conscious News on Facebook. You can still see me here. I'm an actor, writer, director, but I want to start working spiritually on films too, and on projects. I directed a psychological thriller that was like in 2006. I won awards with Harvey Keitel's daughter. But in spiritual world we're living in now, I have a feature that I want to create. I'm looking for producers. I'm also willing to work on other people's projects and stuff. So I'm just here for humanity in general. I'm here with love and healing, and looking forward to this huge change that we're all going through together, as we go through the null zone, and as we go into this, fully look into the fifth dimension. We're in this new dimension. This energy is different now. Remember, it's not about what you see, it's about what you feel. It's inside. You get the knowledge from inside. We're human beings. We haven't got to look outward as much. We can get the information from inside your heart. Connecting your mind, your solar plexus to the universe, to Gaia. We're all changing together. So it's a wake-up call now. Peace, love, and light.